Merry Christmas, everybody, and welcome to another patented episode of Finbarr's Festive Favourites. This year, we're going to take a look at one of my favourite Christmas films, The Muppet Christmas Carol. Let's go! The Muppet Christmas Carol is a 1992 Christmas film directed by Brian Henson, the late Jim Henson's less talented son, although this film isn't bad and is actually one of my favourite Christmas movies. It's based on the novel of the same name, written back in biblical times by famed English author Charles Dickens, who is fittingly portrayed in this film by Gonzo, the Muppet with what can only be described as a dildo hanging from his face. The cast is led by a post, "You're only supposed to blow the bloody doors off," and a "I never wanted to have to bury another Batman," Michael Caine, portraying the miserly Ebenezer Scrooge McDuck. It also stars amico drama sphere power couple Tony TGD and Saggy Mellons as Bob and Emily Cratchit respectively. The story follows the miserable Ebenezer ruining Christmas for everybody by being your typical Englishman, making his staff work their fingers to the bone until Bob Cratchit musters up the guts to ask him for Christmas Day off. A feeling I'm all too familiar with since I joined the Geek Getaway. He also tells his nephew to do one when he asks him to have Christmas dinner with him and his family, tells a couple of charity workers to get a real job, and tries to decapitate Bean Bunny with a razor-sharp Christmas wreath. Scrooge McDuck is warned by the spirits of Statler and Waddoff to expect a visit from the Three Stooges of Christmas, and sure enough, just as he's about to get his fat Swede down for the night, he's given a fright by the ghost of Christmas past, a little girl who looks like she's run into a chalkboard a few times. She takes him on a blast to the past, where he's reminded of how much of a boring twat he was as a child, before being flashed forward to this meeting with the love of his life, a woman with teeth from the Big Book of British Smiles. However, all is not lost, as he's reminded of how he dodged the bullet by having the woman dump his ass, but this still seems to upset him for some reason. Scrooge is then ambushed by the ghost of Christmas Present, who shows him evidence of how much of a miserable twat he is, dances like a tit with him, and then takes him to the Cratchit's house, where he discovers Bob's son, Tiny Tim, played by sidekick Max, may not make it to the other side of winter, most likely due to Trump revoking his Obamacare. The ghost of Christmas Present then whisks Scrooge away to a graveyard, where he meets the ghost of Christmas yet to come, who reveals that Tiny Tim has unsurprisingly snuffed it, and that a headstone in the graveyard actually belongs to Scrooge himself. This shocks Scrooge into begging the ghost to spare his life, and he's transported back to the present, where he discovers it's Christmas Day. He bribes Bean Bunny, the same guy he tried to decapitate earlier, into buying a turkey and meeting him at the Cratchit's house for Christmas dinner. Being a new man, he offers Bob a huge pay rise, something I'm not familiar with since I joined the Geek Getaway, and they all have a rip-roaring Christmas together, while Tiny Tim looks forward to a future where he doesn't die of malnutrition. All in all, The Muppet Christmas Carol is a cracking, fun family time, and as such, I'll leave the final words to be delivered by Tiny Tim and smelly old Scrooge, since I'm way too miserable to say it as well as they can.
God bless us, everyone.